Happy Friday, Dessert Junkies. I hope you are doing well, and happy Lunar New Year, year of the goat, sheep, ram, or animal with horns, to those dessert junkies out there that celebrate the Lunar New Year. This week's recipe is pork floss buns. Now, the pork floss idea did come from Ethany, who lives in the Philippines, and she won my winner car competition, and she sent me some photos of her with her winnings. Check this out. So thank you so much for the suggestion of the pork floss, and this is how you make my pork floss buns.
Alright guys, to get started into our bowl, we're going to add in some 00 bread flour. You can find this just in the flour section of your supermarket. Some plain flour. Then we've got some caster sugar, because often Asian breads are quite sweet. Then we've got some salt. 1 happy chicken egg, of course. Make sure you don't get any shell in there. If you're worried, pop it in another bowl, put that in later. Then we've got the yeast. And we're going to slowly work this a little bit, crack that egg yolk and get it sort of working. Once you've sort of got it to start to come together, we're going to slowly start adding in our milk, and we're going to add this gradually. Don't want it too wet, we also don't want it too dry, and you want to get all that flour all incorporated. Once you've incorporated all your milk, it's now time to get your hands dirty. Make sure, of course, your hands are clean and not dirty, and start working your dough until it's really well combined and it starts to stick together. There shouldn't be any sort of crummy bits left in the bottom of your bowl. This should take you about 5-10 minutes. Once you've done that, it's now time to add in the butter. The butter definitely needs to be room temperature, so just squeeze it through your fingers and make sure it definitely is at room temperature before adding it into your dough, because it will be harder to work it into the dough. You want to work this into your dough, and the dough will then start to become more elastic. That's the yeast kicking in and the gluten in the flour, and you'll see it's nice and smooth, nice and luxurious, not sticking to the bowl, not sticking to me. That's when you know you have kneaded enough. Then you want to pop that flour ball of dough goodness back into the bowl, give it a nice little sprinkle of water, give it a drink, and then cover it with a damp cloth. And you want to pop this in a nice warm spot, allowing it to rise and double in size. Then fist pump it, get the air out of it, and now we're going to break this up into our portions for our buns. So I sort of went with 8s, that worked for me, so I sort of got it into a sausage, cut it again, etc, etc. I did use a kitchen scale here, and that's really going to be the best thing to get the right measurement. Each one of my buns is 70 grams of weight, so popping it on the scale, measuring it, grabbing a little bit from the other buns and making sure that it does end up being the 70. You want to then, once you've done all your buns, hang on, I'm going to get to 76, ready? Hey, lucky number 70! Then we're going to roll these buns and sort of curl the insides. So see how I sort of grab from the top, and then I'm sort of going down so I cover the end, I guess is the best way to say it. It's kind of like making a dumpling, is probably the best way of explaining this. And I'm going to pop this on a board and allow this to rest for another 15 minutes too. Once that's happened, it's now time to shape the bun shape. And of course my camera decided not to focus. But I'm rolling this sort of out into a rectangle shape, and then I'm going to roll it up, sort of like a finger bun sort of shape, as you'll see. So I'm sort of trying to get the rectangle, slowly rolling it up to get that bun shape. And I'm going to pop this on the oven tray that I'm going to pop in the oven. Also at this time, I'm preheating my oven 100 degrees. I want to get some heat into these to help them proof. So I'm heating the oven, I'm going to turn it off, let the heat stay in the oven while these proof again. I know, more proofing. This is worth the wait, guys. Allow these to proof in your oven off 50 minutes. Then they, of course, will double in size, like so. Then what we're going to do is turn the oven back on, preheat that 170 degrees, 340 Fahrenheit, while we give these lovely babies an egg wash. And this is just an egg I've cracked in a bowl, and I'm giving these guys a beautiful painting here, making sure I get all the shads so they will go lovely and brown. Pop them in your preheated oven, 18 to 20 minutes. Voila. They will have a bit of a hollow sound if you tap them. That's how you know that your bread is done. Allow them to cool on a rack. Once they are cool, it's now time to get the pork floss on. And what's the best floss pork bun stickiness technique ever of all time? Mayonnaise. This is Japanese mayonnaise. It's called Kewpie mayonnaise. You can use any mayonnaise that you like, but that's going to be the glue for our pork floss. And this is pork floss if you've never seen it. It's little fine pieces of pork. And we're going to sort of lightly squish this to get it to stick. Don't worry if it's not perfect. This is sort of a rustic dish. It's to be shared. It's supposed to be fun. Don't worry if it's not perfect. And then you just apply this to your buns. Voila! Pork floss buns.
There you have it, guys. These are a little bit tricky. They do take a bit of time with the proofing of the bun, but the payoff, so worth it. If you're a little bit scared of using the pork floss, maybe try some shallots or French onions on top of your buns before you cook them in the oven, and maybe even some sesame seeds just to give it a different taste. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this. If you like what you see, please share, favorite, comment, and of course, subscribe. And we'll see you all next week for another video recipe. Bye, guys.